Hello and welcome to part 4 of There's a Demon in My TV, where we tackle yet another children's program. But before getting into the specific show and consequently 2 clips from that show, I want to share an observation that seems all too common of a thread in many of the modern day children's cartoon programming. It seems that modern shows that have some sort of basic good versus evil scenario are all borrowing from the same general sets of ideas. It's like they have the same writers and they just regurgitate the same idea and they throw it out, and it turns out to be a little different from each show, but the main themes are the same. As stated in part 1, I contend that they're borrowing these literary themes from religious circles, especially that of Christian beliefs that relate to demons or fallen angels. Here are just a few similarities between some of the more popular shows that I've watched. 1. The heroes or good guys are almost always kids. There's nothing inherently concerning about that, and I can see why they would pander to the very demographic they're trying to reach. However, part 2 of that is this, and that's where it starts to get concerning. On their own, these kids are not special or good enough to defeat whatever evil villain or group of bad guys is headed their way. They must call on an outside source or transform into something. Once the outside source is invoked, then they realize their full potential as warriors or heroes and then begin fighting. As stated in part 3, it's getting harder and harder to tell the good guys from the bad guys. A, due to the bad guys also having to call on an outside source and being transformed into something else. And B, due to the fact that the final transformation, in many cases, they look just as grotesque and evil-looking as those that they are battling against. But let's jump straight into this week's clip as we look at the Power Rangers. Now this is actually a spin-off from the original series where animal spirits have to be called upon in order to go through the morphing process. Each warrior has a particular animal that they can harness and therefore use in combat for its strengths. For instance, one of them can call on the spirit of an elephant. Elephants are big and strong, but perhaps not too terribly fast. Okay, so the same attributes would apply to the one that harnesses the power of the elephant. This was actually on our television not too long ago, and this is one of the only times that I've shut off our TV and told the kids that I didn't like what I was watching and that we were going to turn it off. I tend to let things slide at times, and because I know the kids don't see all the layers that go into this stuff, and for the most part they only understand that there's a group of good guys fighting some bad guys, and good guys, in theory, usually win on these things. But when I saw these Rangers inviting a foreign spirit to enter into their bodies so that they could morph into a more powerful being and defeat their enemies, the line had been crossed. I don't even want my kids pretending to mimic that kind of behavior. This isn't the exact clip I witnessed the other day, but it's similar. Take a look.
Call to the beast inside! Bring out the cheetah!
Call to the beast inside! Unleash the jaguar! Call to the beast inside! Free the tiger!
That is all I needed to put a halt on viewing this show, but if you need more, check out this clip where one of the Rangers is actually fighting against his internal animal spirit, which is a wolf, after it has actually taken control of him.
Whatever you're doing, do it faster!
Oh my! This isn't working! Wait! Your animal spirit isn't your enemy! It's Krasaka's evil spirit! Of course! That's what you need to fight! RJ, Your wolf spirit is a part of you. It's what makes you a master. But an evil spirit has deceived you, made you think that your spirit is out of control. Join with the wolf. Give the evil spirit no place to hide.
RJ? Man, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, me too.
Did you catch the final point of that clip? It's not the demon spirit that's causing the problems, so quit fighting it. Instead, embrace it and be one with it, so that you can be powerful and fight the real enemy. This other spirit that lied to you and convinced you that this demon entity was a bad thing. Gee, I wonder what kind of spirit might do something like convince you of what is truly evil or bad for you. Could it be the Holy Spirit? What are your thoughts?